We are going through the hold. There is no hold. We are counting down. Let's look for that detonation suppression system, which we should see underneath the booster any moment now. T-minus 20 seconds. Here it comes. Stand by for the deluge. We are go for launch. There's the deluge. Here's ignition. We are 60 seconds into flight. Starship is well and truly off and away. Vapor cone!
Ooh.
Oh my goodness! Look at that live shot of Starship ascending into space. We are 33 engines for 33 engines on the Super Heavy booster. We are headed to hot staging.
Amazing. That was stunning.
And we're getting the onboard views of that beautiful vapor cone. The expansion of the exhaust is now starting. We're seeing the pink and purple hues of the Raptor engines. Alex, how is that from your point of view, the first 90 seconds of flight?
It's going well. That was an amazing vapor cone as Starship was just punching through the atmosphere, getting into space. So far, so good. It looks like
Starship
it got one engine out now.
Have they lost an engine? So we're now 32 for 33 engines. Alex, whereabout is that engine on the booster? Is that one of the center or one of the boosts?
On the middle ring of 10 engines on Super Heavy.
Okay. That's going to be interesting to see how they play out for the rest of the flight, because remember, the Super Heavy booster intended to do an experimental landing burn where they would use one of the middle ring engines to supplement one of the center engines. However,
I was going to mention the roll that is happening right now, that is nominal. It is in preparation for the flip at hot staging. Remember that the booster will flip up during hot staging.
And we are only a few seconds away from that hot staging maneuver. We should see all but 3 of those Super Heavy engines shutting down, the ship 6 engines not lighting up, and then those 2 vehicles separating. Let's watch from on board these vehicles. And we have the shutdown on the Super Heavy, the ignition of the vacuums, the ignition of the centers, and we should have visual confirmation. There we go.
There's the flip.
The ship has separated and the booster is now flipping around. The middle ring ignited on Super Heavy. That is now heading not back to the launch site, but close to it. We're going to the Gulf with Super Heavy Booster 16 this time around. So let's keep an eye on that boost back burn to continue going. Ship on its way to its near orbital trajectory. Adrian, let's throw it to you.
Absolutely, and the good news here we are seeing, Ryan, of course it's early in the flight, but 6 healthy Raptor engines on the ship. That is what we want to see. Yes, the booster is an interesting topic, but of course the big ticket item today is that ship, and we want to see these 6 Raptor engine continue to burn.
We see the middle ring of engines shut down on the Super Heavy booster. Those 3 Raptor middle engines continue burning for a few seconds longer. And then after that, we should see the the hot staging ring jettison from the booster. SpaceX doesn't keep that attached for this Block 2 generation of booster because it's simply too heavy. It messes up its aerodynamics and its mass on the way back in.
And we can confirm that the boost back burn has shut down on the booster. That single engine in the middle ring that went out on ascent is also what was also out on the boost back burn. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm starting to think that it probably just is not there at all. Maybe because usually they try to
ejected the
relight
Raptor.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
not
they
sure
did
which,
not
Alex,
try.
maybe you can answer this, but we have seen before a booster go out in a Raptor go out in flight on the booster before, and then it came back. That engine relit for the landing burn.
Yeah.
So that could happen this time around if indeed the engine is still there. I'm not sure which particular booster that was, but we can see now the venting from the booster. Alex, this all looks
And the hot
nominal,
staging
correct?
ring as well. Yeah, the venting is normal. They dump the propellant on the main tank. Now they're going to be using just the landing tank. So
You can see separation of the hot
Yep.
staging ring and the super heavy booster. Those are separating away. As things stand, see them kind of glide down towards the ocean at the current same relative rate. But very shortly, here it comes. The booster will start to fly down towards the ocean, and the hot staging ring will it's kind of like a pancake. It'll sit in the
And
air
now-
much longer than the hot staging,
Watch for
than
the
the
entry.
booster does.
Yeah, now what will happen is the booster will go to an angle of attack during the atmospheric glide of 17 degrees offset to the direction of the airflow. That is not as punchy as they tested before, but still a big punch in terms of aerodynamic forces that will go through this booster. So I want to preempt this. There is a
Well-
non-zero chance that
There-
that booster might solve some structural issues. Go ahead, Alex.
I don't think they're trying that on this one. They're actually not trying to force that, if I'm not mistaken.
okay.
So the entry should be a normal one, but it is the landing burn, the one that we should be looking for, because that's the one that's going to be testing out interesting things. We're still
Seconds
tracking
away from
there.
the landing burn, tracking the booster, going through that
Wow.
vapor, going through the atmosphere. Stand by for engine ignition. It should be coming shortly of those middle Raptor engines. We are standing by, and there is the landing burn igniting over the Gulf. Let's see if we can stick with the booster here. It will be hovering above the Gulf. It looks like we have now down selected to those center Raptor engines. Booster continuing down. It's going to hover. Expect the hover. It seems to be stationary. Let's wait for engine
Wow.
shutdown, and we should be getting a beautiful explosion. There is shutdown, and the booster plummets towards the water. Here it goes. Stand by for impact. Boom!
There we go.
Wonderful.
It did
Al-
use a middle ring of the engines, one of the engines on that middle ring. It did use successfully that one as a backup to one of the center engines. It did simulate successfully the engine out capability on landing. That was amazing.
Let's
That
go
has
to
done
that ship, by the
exactly
way.
what SpaceX wanted them to do. Adrian, yeah, let's keep an eye on the ship. 6 Raptors still burning.
It
Yeah,
had
now
it
we-
had a bit of spinning in a bit, but it seems to be stable now again. There was some, but that could be a planned rotation.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a planned rotation. So at this point in time, with 7 minutes and 20 seconds into the burn, 6 healthy Raptor engines, that's good. So far, we are not seeing any issues on this ship. Everything looking good, looking what we want to see. Please do it, Ship 37.
Yeah,
Alex, to you.
just like happened on the last flight, when they do that directional flip with the booster at hot staging, they rotate it, and then when the ship is going on its own, then it flips back to the original orientation from liftoff, right? And so that's essentially what they did with the ship on its own as it was going up into space. But so far so good. Let's hope it keeps continuing to be like that. Another minute
But
or
8
so.
minutes into flight at this point, ship continuing on its way. We are seconds away from Seco. This is the point
we?
that ships in the first 2
No.
blocks of flight.
It's a bit longer, I think. They extended that a bit.
I heard a sonic boom, I think.
But
Either way,
the
we're
one
getting very close to Seco. This is a point that the first 2 Block 2 ships didn't get to. The last ship did. However, it did see some issues which meant it lost attitude control. This is the time for SpaceX to improve on the previous flights. Look at those 6 Raptors still burning. 8 minutes, approaching 9 minutes into flight. Seco
Here we
should
go.
be coming up. Oh, there it is.
Shut down.
and with that shutdown, now we are waiting, because the last time the problems of course occurred there. But these vents that you're seeing right now, that's all okay. That's all purging, that's all control. Everything looks good. I don't see anything we don't expect at this point. And also, if I see it
Ship
correctly,
engine cut off. There we go.
yeah,
All engines have shut down. We are in the trajectory. Fingers crossed
Nominal
SpaceX
orbit
says
insertion.
shortly. There we
Nominal
go.
insertion.
That is the correct trajectory for Ship 13. It is on its way to the Indian Ocean.
It seems to be holding.
And there was some venting there. I want to point that out. But that venting looks to be normal.
Dump.
That is, yeah, that's like normal
Yeah.
control dump after the Raptor engine has shut down, as we are seeing the people there at the outpost watching. But the ship, you can see it. It's stable in bottom right. It has attitude control.
The
That's
camera
so
view you
cool.
are seeing right now is on one of the forward flaps. So the camera is moving because they're moving the flaps in space. I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Maybe
that's
checking them
extra-
out before entry.
Yeah, like
Entry
a bit
is
of
still
wiggle.
a long way to go, but
But I like this so far. Like we are usually pretty able to spot these kind of problems once they occur. So far, I'm not spotting anything here that makes my, let's makes me feel bad. So that's good. I want to hear this. I want to see this.
there's
And-
the timeline.
Yep, absolutely. Next up, and that's a very important milestone for the program, is at 18 minutes and 27 seconds, we will start to see the payload deployment demonstration. That might be the first time that something is going to be released from a Starship in space.
Intentionally.
Intentionally, not the Raptor nozzle.
But yeah, that is what Alex, remind me, how many Starlink simulators are we intending to see deployed at T plus 18 minutes and 27 seconds?
8 of them should be deployed from Starship's payload bay. We're entering now orbital sunset as Starship heads into the shadow of Earth. And again, we should remind that venting is normal. One of the things of Starship is that it carries a lot of propellant, right? But it also carries a lot of payload into orbit. And one of the things that they don't need is those tanks full or with any sort of propellant for entry, because they already have their landing tanks. Starship already has a set of landing tanks. The main tanks don't need to be full or with any fluid at all. So they're dumping. And you can also see on the bottom right corner, they have also an attitude. Now in 3D space, that's amazing. They had an attitude sort of little graphic there.
Is it? I'm sorry, my preview is too small. I need a bigger preview for next time. It almost looks 3D, like they've got the KSP gyroscope kind of overlay effect going on there.
Yeah, it's going good. It's going good. Everything so far, everything we are seeing Starship now way beyond the Gulf, already over the Atlantic Ocean, on its way to Africa. So this is good. This is at this point, the last flight, we were already knowing that something was off. So it's the fact that we are still positive is progress.
And as we get our first view inside the payload bay section, those 8 Starlink simulators, those COPVs as well. Let's keep an eye out for those as well that we saw with Ship 36. But there we go. Alex, this red color, this is just the sunset, right?
Yep, Starship is going into Earth's shadow, so it's getting some of that sunset color in there. I was very happy with that view of the inside of the payload bay. This time, I don't see any bits of like ice floating. Last time around, we thought that was normal. We later found out that they had a breach on the pressurization system of the methane tank. So not seeing them on this flight kind of makes me think that they no longer have that issue, and therefore it's
Did we just see some
nominal now
lightning?
too.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think we're seeing city lights
Was
and
it?
perhaps some lightning from over the Gulf there. Just if we look at the diagram, Starship was just past the Caribbean, so that might have been maybe from South America. I'm not sure. Forgive me. But if you were in the Caribbean, if you were in one of those areas that managed to see Starship launch, remember, we want to see all of your guys' experiences. But remember, watch the rocket launch with your eyes. Don't film it with your phone. But if you did get any cool snaps, do tag us on all of the social media platforms, X, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. And it looks like the cops, Alex, have returned to that the closest checkpoint, the closest roadblock there, back on the ground as we take another look in space.
You see on the right side is the door, right? Like if I'm seeing this correctly, on the right side you can see the shape of the door, and the next step, of course, for them would be to open that door, and then
we're seeing some sort of vapor, some
fumes
gaseous
there as they're venting now.
Yep. Alex, I believe
we
from
saw the
SpaceX
same on Flight
themselves. 3. Yeah, they had said in their update they released ahead of this flight that they had some pressure problems. The inside pressure much different from the outside pressure, which was they think probably the cause of the door not working. Could this be related to equalizing pressure, making sure the door can actually open this time?
Yeah, one of the things of this nose cone is that it's kept pressurized, and then they vent it out because otherwise they cannot open the door. So, whew.
Alex just took a breathe. I've been taking some breaths. Adrian's been taking some breaths. Chat, are you breathing? Are you still with us, chat? Because that was quite an intense 15 minutes or so of flight. I'm sure we'll get some replays of it as we get towards the end of the ship's mission here. But that booster splashdown, oh my goodness, that is definitely going in the next Starship intro. I can assure you of that. That was pretty epic. Adrian, let's toss it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the crazy thing is, the most exciting thing that we have been waiting for to see so long now might still come up, because I mean, let's be real, Ryan, re-entry is potentially on the menu here, and I think watching the re-entry the last time was one of the most amazing things I have seen in spaceflight, and seeing a stable re-entry again would be the absolute amazing thing.
I'm seeing some of that material inside the bay, Alex. We should be seeing that payload bay door opening shortly in preparation for the deploy demonstration coming up at 18 minutes and 27 seconds.
Oh, you can see the vapor going to the door as it opens. There.
Here it goes.
You can see that it suddenly moved to that door. I think they started to at least wiggle it.
Yep, it's going up. Look at that.
There it is. It's opening.
There we go.
Congrats, Starship payload team. With that, that's already first success.
Now, I don't want to be pedantic, but technically SpaceX already achieved this on Starship Flight 3. They have managed to open the door in space before. The thing they haven't done is deploy something and then close the door again. Those are the two big ticket items coming up in approximately 1 minute's time, according to the timeline published before the flight. Of course, these things are dynamic. The ship could be in a slightly different trajectory. We're there in the planned trajectory at least, but things could be slightly different based on the live timing. The ship is in control of the mission right now. There's nobody on the ground at Starbase with a joystick. Das isn't on his Xbox controller flying the ship right now. The ship is in control of the ship. The onboard computer's in control.
That Starship
For Hal, listen this time. He cooperated. He opened the payload door for us. There's a view kind of behind the Pez here, looking out into the vacuum of space.
About 15 seconds until payload deploy.
Stand by.
10 seconds. Come on.
They should get flung out of there.
Do the thing.
Ship has transitioned to payload deploy.
Come on.
Do the thing.
Camera a bit glitchy there. Go to the other one.
Bit of a dodgy Starlink signal there. Should have gone by now. We're just standing by.
Might be some signal delay as well. Come on, do it.
Oh.
It's moving.
They're getting raised. And there it
Yes.
goes. The first one is getting deployed.
Here we go.
Let's go!
Starship has deployed a payload.
Let's go. Second one.
Pew pew.
SpaceX team's obviously very
Been waiting
happy.
way too long to do that.
Let's
There we
watch
go.
the second one go.
Let's see.
There it goes.
There goes another one.
And
This is incredible. You can just see them floating out of that letterbox opening there.
Super exciting moment as you can hear the energy in both Hawthorne and Starbase. Everyone's super excited.
Satellites, well, technically, kind of boilerplate satellites, shall I say, deployed from Starship for the very first time. 2 of 8
now another
deployed so
row
far.
of 2.
Let's see if we can get that other set of Starlink simulators. Put my teeth back in. We're expecting 1 per minute or so. This deployment sequence is supposed to wrap up at T plus 25 minutes and 32 seconds. It did look like it took a little bit of time to actually get going. That could be slightly incorrect information from SpaceX at this point. But of course, we have the live views from inside Ship 37 right now. Let's keep watching these Starlink simulators getting deployed. Looks like another one is about to go.
There we go.
Either way, a huge win for anybody working on payloads for Starship. This is an amazing work already from that whole team getting this to this step.
It's rather interesting that they use the Starlink on the back to push the Starlink on the front, and then the one on the back slides back, and then it gets pushed itself out. We just saw the first one on this row, and now the second one.
Look at this from top down, looking down. They're getting deployed. I wonder if they are prioritizing the internal views, because it would be incredible to get a view of the outside of the ship. I'm sure everybody watching on from the Rocket Ranch outpost is going to be very happy with those deployments as well. Fingers crossed we get some sort of external view of the ship there. But yeah, looking good from inside at least so far. And we can see that rail system going once again. Looks like another deployment right up. And it goes down, slides down.
This is going good so far. 4 out of 8, halfway there.
Yep.
And the last one will have the camera, right? Right? SpaceX? Right?
Maybe.
Please
They've been
do
teasing
it.
it enough in their renders, right? The render of the Mars Link deploy, the new render of the Starlink deploy. It has a camera following the satellite. Come on, SpaceX, you know you want to. Well, I probably should have said that a few
Please.
days ago, but you know you want to.
Okay.
Next one.
Stand by.
5th Starlink sliding off.
It's rolling.
There
You
she
can see the
goes.
gears on the right turning.
There it goes.
Just
And now
drifts
the
out
other
of the
one-
bay.
Slides back. Look at that.
Yep. Look at this is so
One of-
fascinating to watch.
One of the other things that we can see is that this second one, the one on the back, usually struggles to get out in the right orientation because it's like the one back. And it hits a little bit the door as it exits. Let's see
Watch
here.
this
Hang
one.
on.
Bit of a run up. Let go. Let it drift.
And
That looks good.
It dips down a bit on its way out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, but it works.
it's also worth reminding that this is nothing compared to how they hit each other on Falcon 9s, right? They are made to have a little bit of contact. Let's put it that way, right? So a little bit of a ding there on the payload bay. It's okay. Falcon 9s, those launches are even worse for the Starlinks.
And it looks like the penultimate set now getting ready to go. Alex, just for those who might not be in the know, this deployment sequence is vastly different from what they do with Falcon 9. With Falcon
Yep.
9, they essentially rotate the second stage to kind of fling the satellites off into space. This is very different.
Yeah, on Falcon 9, they just essentially just burst it out. It's like there's a stack of Starlink satellites held together by rods, and then they deploy the rods, and the satellites just fly off. Here it's much more controlled. It's one at a time. There we go. And 7th out.
One more to go. Looks like it's getting pulled back in. Coil it up. Pull back on the arrow. Get ready to shoot it out the side of Starship. How many more analogies can I think of in the next 30 seconds?
Let's go. Final one.
And there it goes. 8. Let's wait for the camera to confirm it, because the...
No ads, no ads, no ads. KingShot brings you endless fun without any breaks. It's totally free. Jump into awesome tower defense action. Play round after round to your heart's content and feel the thrill every time you win. Download now and enjoy hours of pure gaming joy.
South America. There
I think that's
the,
the payload door. That's the payload bay, I think, from one of the one of the ships on cameras. Yeah, I think it is.
I will tease something here. You know we are working on prints. We are not ready to show them yet, but I tease you something. Max caught the vapor cone.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So we are working on it. It's cooking behind the scenes. But you stay tuned. Sorry.
So let's recap what happened so far. Good launch, ascent, booster came back, simulated that engine out on landing burn. By the way, a lot of people out there, the Rocket Ranch outpost. And we got a ship in space. It deployed 8 Starlink simulator satellites. And boy, I'm so excited, because finally, after 3 tries that were not as successful, now finally they've been able to test that payload bay door and payload deployment for Starlink satellites. You were asking me when, I mean, Block 3, that's going to be the one, right? But they have already tested it on this flight. They can apply those lessons to Block 3, and now, in a few minutes, I think in 10 minutes or so, we should get that Raptor in-space relight, which will allow them to be able to not just go into orbit and deploy satellites, but also come back. Of course, today, they are already in a trajectory that if that in-flight relight or whatever fails for whatever reason, they will still go through re-entry no matter what. They are still committed to a re-entry over the Indian Ocean. But it's important to also test that for future flights as well. So, you know, I'm really excited. And there we can see a very happy launch pad, very empty.
Yeah, the vehicle departed here 27 minutes and 46 seconds ago. Unfortunately, no booster hanging from the chopstick arms on the launch tower this time around, because booster 16 went through its intended trajectory. SpaceX was testing out new re-entry profiles with that super heavy booster. Alex, do remind me, I wasn't able to keep an eye on the engine diagram during flight. They ignited 33, launched with 33, but then they lost one of the middle Raptor engines on that booster's way uphill.
Yep, and it also was not related for the boost back burn. I'm gonna be honest, I did not pay too much attention on that for the landing burn, but I did see, I took a look for the final end of that landing burn on booster 16. It did use that backup engine. They disabled one of the center engines on the and by the way, the door is closed, so that's great news, because for finally they've been able to do that. They
couldn't do that on flight 3.
Yeah, exactly. So finally, they've been able to do it on this flight. So booster 16, they were looking to use one of the middle engines, one of those 10 engines in the middle ring, as a backup in case, you know, an anomaly happened in a future flight, say with those 3 engines, one of them shuts down or whatever. They wanted to try and use one of those middle engines in the center ring of 10 engines as a backup to the one that goes out, and they successfully proved it on booster 16. Of course, the end of that landing burn was with just 2 engines, and then that booster dropping into the water. It was amazing, that boom.
Yeah, that was quite something. My fingers are crossed that we have some slow-mo coming up potentially.
I'm so happy to see this payload bay empty for the first time in the last 4 flights.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
And also, like, looking at this payload bay, I'm looking at the diffuser there at the top of the dome on the methane tank, and that was the culprit. This is why that was why the last flight failed. We also can see some of the COPVs there inside of the payload bay. This is why Ship 36 exploded. One of those failed on the test stand at Massey's. So seeing this, as our patch says, rising from the ashes, finally, we get to see payload deploy on Starship, and those COPVs did not cause any issues this time around. That was super nice.
Redemption for Ship 36's failure at the Massey's outpost 2 months ago. Ship 37 has completed of its 3 in-space objectives. Don't go anywhere, folks. We might be half an hour into this mission, but there's still half an hour of flight to come. We have a Raptor in-space relight in about 7-ish minutes time. Entry interface, we should be starting re-entry in about 15 minutes time, and then about 15 minutes after that, we should be opening the ocean in the daytime for, fingers crossed, a soft splashdown of Ship 37, which is going to be, if we indeed do get that and the ship does its job, that is going to be quite a sight. We have seen that twice before in a fully controllable scenario, both with Block 1 vehicles, and then we've also seen a kind of a partial splashdown success with the first ship to make it through. The little flap that could, as we like to call it, was kind of disintegrating on its way back in. But Alex, that little flap that could, that shouldn't be a problem anymore, because if we cast our minds back to this time last year, we were up in arms because SpaceX redesigned the forward flaps of the ship. We were like, oh no, this is going to look horrible. It doesn't actually look that horrible in my opinion. They've grown on me. But yeah, SpaceX hasn't actually been able to test those new forward flap designs yet because they haven't been able to get to re-entry in a stable configuration.
Yeah, right now, ooh, look at that. Redemption! Of course, redemption. Whew. Yeah, so just to make sure, this is a print from Caesar out there shooting the liftoff of this very same flight that is currently above Earth. I don't even know where it is right now. Eastern Atlantic Ocean, yeah. So that ship that you see there in that metal print was able to deploy those 8 Starlink simulators. That booster did that amazing off-nominal scenario of a landing burn for the future. Of course, we've got more metal prints coming down the pipe. Look at that. Rocketing to the history books. This is from Jack, apparently, what we're being told in the back channels. Wow, look at those those mega Mach diamonds.
And I believe we have the photographer of said print with us right now, Mr. Jack Beyer, back in the air conditioning after watching Starship Flight 10 from the roof of the Margaritaville Beach Resort on South Padre Island. Jack, how are you feeling? Ship has deployed Starlink simulators and the door closed.
Pretty darn amazing. I'm so excited to see if they can hit some more of their milestones, but that is a big one. We finally got to see payloads deploy on Starship. Really excited to see what is coming in from all the remotes and what's coming in from all of our other photographers. I know that Max got the vapor cone. That shot is outstanding. We need to get that in the store very soon here as well, so stay tuned for that. But holy cow, everybody is super excited to see what Starship's going to do next. I hope the relight test goes well, question mark?
Yeah, Alex, I'm going to toss it over to you quickly. If you could just talk us through the next few minutes. We're approaching T plus 34 minutes. The relight, I believe, scheduled is T plus 37 minutes, 48 seconds.
Yeah, right now they are in that coast phase. The ship has deployed those 8 Starlink simulators. It is now reorienting itself for the relight burn of that single center engine. We can see it's dark. It's really dark out there right now as it's crossing over Africa right now. And we can see there, that's a shot of the engines. One of those center engines will relight here in just 3 minutes from now, should be at the T plus 37 minutes and 48 seconds mark. So I'm really, really, excited and expecting, I want to see this work. It seems like they are now doing engine chill. I'm seeing some of those vents going off for the engine chill, so that's good as well. It's really amazing. Again, as I said before, it went into space. It did its, almost orbital insertion, and then it deployed those Starlinks. Now it needs to demonstrate that it can come back, that it can do that the orbit burn, and in the future, I mean, some Starlinks might be deployed into higher orbits. It'll need to relight the engines, right? In general, it'll need to do all of that sort of stuff. And we have now, look at that! Look at that. This is from Max, if I'm not mistaken, of that amazing vapor cone.
Yeah, I mean, holy vapor cone, as he would say. That was quite something to see on the vehicle's way uphill. And if you want to get that and put it on
Missing tile tests around the aft area of the vehicle. Could be fine, could be not fine. Who knows? But we'll find out here shortly. That's the excitement of the launch.
Of course, if
Look at
SpaceX
that.
says anything interesting, we will take that live, so you will get to hear that live along with us. We're seeing this kind of streakingness coming from the aft section. This is very reminiscent of the entry kind of visuals we were getting from the Block 1 vehicles. It looks slightly different because, of course, the ship design is slightly different. Fingers crossed. It looks as if whatever energetic event was, it doesn't appear to have had an impact on the re-entry of the vehicle so far. My concern right now is whether that had an impact on the engines, because of course the sea level engines will be used for that flip landing burn for a soft splashdown. So if there's any damage, they look to be intact, but if there's any damage,
Right, so at this point,
could
the
impact
flaps
the
have
soft
control. That
splashdown.
means we're getting into a dense
There we
enough
go.
part of the atmosphere that the flaps can start controlling us. We're not only relying.
I really want this AK, but this is going way too slow. Let's go ahead and get these troops. Oh my goodness, that is so helpful. Okay, let's get these little babies out of here and get this minigun. I'm going for this. And
Always a chance that something that shouldn't have an ignition source also caught an ignition source, to word it like that, because there's of course a lot of methane on the ship, and or potentially even a COPV, who knows. But for now, it doesn't seem to be. I think we are seeing some parts flying away from the ship sometimes, but overall, I think this is still stable.
It's also interesting to mention as well that the heat shield tiles that they removed is one of the things that happens is that they remove tiles on one side, so the other is clean.
Yep.
Oh, and we're seeing some more things being ejected. Maybe some of those tile experiments causing some breaking up of that looked to be coming from that left, I think, port aft flap.
Yeah, but seems to be dying down a bit now.
I think that flap is not like in the re-entry.
Yeah, I feel like.
Wait. Oh, and that seems to be a breach of some sort of hinge there, maybe, like we saw with that forward flap on flight 4, I believe.
Come on, little flap. Come on, little flap. You can do it.
I have never believed so hard in my life than into these hinges and flaps. So I'm sure they will be.
Peak heating?
It's.
Do we think there's? When is peak heating? Do we know?
It will be ironic if now it's the aft flaps the problem, after having redesigned the forward flaps.
That would be ironic.
I feel so far this still looks better than the last. Like I think this is still okay.
I mean, going by the ship graphic, it looks like it's in the right orientation. If I can see that properly.
Seem to be losing parts of Starship. We can see
the
that
aft
aft
flap
flap.
it's struggling.
Right by the bottom on the right-hand side, by the hinge, you can see a little bit of a gap has formed there. That doesn't appear to be nominal, but again, this could just be part of the ship tile testing, as we see some more components being ejected from Starship as it goes through re-entry. 51 minutes into flight right now. Fingers crossed it can hold.
There's a lot of.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
have
this is
faith.
part of the testing though.
You can do it, little flap.
Yeah,
You can do it.
I see some ablative material, but
Yep.
yeah.
Ship is
We'll see.
really doing its best
Still-
to stay together right now.
Yeah, still doing okay.
Yep.
Again, this was all part of
Holy
experiments. They reduced heat shield. They have it's all possible that this is a high level of stress.
They are getting
Yeah.
loads of re-entry data for version 2 of the ship right now,
Still
which they have
13 more
desperately
minutes.
needed for a long time.
I mean, it's still having control. I will not be negative as long as that ship has control.
See around, we have our teams on the roof, teams at Rocket Ranch, everybody eyes focused on re-entry right now. So are we. And at least for now, that aft flap is, I don't want to jinx it, but it is holding for the time being. The ship attitude appears to be where it be, judging by that overlay from SpaceX. But it is getting toasty in the engine bay right now. It is getting very
But-
toasty indeed.
That is fancy.
Whoa, look at that flow! Look at
Yeah.
that flow! What is going on there?
Almost looks like an
Oh my
aurora.
God, that's right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It looks like plasma following magnetic field lines. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. It is a giant steel thing flowing
You
through
can
the
see the limb
atmosphere,
of
which
the-
certainly can.
On the
Oh
atmosphere
my
there. Look
God.
at that.
Oh my god, the atmosphere. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think
It's
what
beautiful.
I called yesterday, earlier, the sunrise. I think that was just the plasma building up. Now it looks to be the actual sunrise. But yeah, we still have 13 more minutes until that landing. Oh boy, these
Can we
re-entries
just take
are
a moment?
so nerve-wracking.
For real. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that we're getting live re-entry views as the ship is literally fighting to stay
Yeah.
together? Like, what the? We're just, like, taking that as normal at this point.
And Jack, look at that. The flap's still moving. Like, they still have control. They're still fighting this.
Yeah, and you can really see the skin of the
Wow,
flap
look
there
at the clouds.
rippling, which is something you can see at liftoff as well. Just the vibrations on the vehicle, clearly evident as it's coming in hot. Wow.
Bit of a freeze there from the Starlink views, but yeah, continuing. I mean, these are high definition views right now being broadcast through re-entry. Until last year, this was unprecedented, right? We had never seen anything like this. The Starlink constellation that SpaceX has been building for the last 6-7 years allows them to do this. And look at this, we're seeing a few more kind of streaks. That looks like a big streak from the forward flap. Maybe some sort of... Maybe we're just getting into the spicier parts of re-entry right now, but there does appear to be
We
some more of
should.
those ablative streaks.
And you can see the altitude now, already at 64 kilometers in altitude. Speed still
It's-
going down.
Look at the clouds. You can see how
Yeah.
fast it's going
Yeah.
because oh my God. And you can see like pieces of debris break off the ship and then like slowly start to float away as they're still on the lee of the ship, and then they get caught by the air current and then just get like sucked away. Get Venturi'd, idiot.
I mean, at this... already probably very, very important for them. And I still think this is looking splendid for the fact that they are not having that much data for so far.
Agreed.
I
They're
think we
getting
have a
so
G
much
meter right
valuable
now
data.
in the bottom right of the picture. We are seeing 0.8 G. We're not even at 1 G yet for the Starship.
Wow. This re-entry is so long, it's wild. It's the same as like the ascent burn on Starship. It just goes on for so long.
It seems to be... Is that just me or is it a bit leaning? Like
It does
maybe it's doing
seem
an
a
S-turn.
bit leany.
Yeah.
Maybe it's doing an S-turn. And maybe it's fine. It's just a little leany.
Or
It's
maybe
still good.
the-
It's still
the
good.
flap.
Yeah, maybe
There's
it's
a bit of a bright
yeah,
flash there.
yeah.
Yeah, let's be honest. It's not liking it. But hey, the forward flaps are working. That's the important ones.
So
Look at
my
the catch
goodness.
pin at the bottom. It's also getting hot.
yeah.
Oh,
Where they have
no
the-
way.
More
You're
the
right.
clock?
streaks.
And the sides of the vehicle.
That's another really important thing to test if they want to start catching ships. They are past
Has
peak
max
heating.
Peak heating.
Let's go.
So It's not like re-entry is over, but it's less intense from here on out. It does get easier for the ship, but it still has to bear the brunt of that force, as it is now 61 kilometers in altitude, still traveling over
However,
19,000 kilometers an hour.
It's worth remembering that just because they pass peak heating doesn't mean that the ship doesn't keep building up that temperature. Like, it just
That's
means
a really
that
good point.
the amount of heat that it's getting, it's going down, but the temperature itself can keep going up. Because this is still getting that heat, right? The heat is the transfer of the energy, and it's building up the energy.
The tiles don't make the heat not exist. The tiles soak up the heat and are really, really bad at conducting it. So this entire time, they're soaking up that heat, and that doesn't mean that heat doesn't go anywhere. Most of it's radiated off, but that the backside of the tiles over time...
Wow, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Anytime views of the Indian Ocean... It's still going. It's still going.
The little flap that could 2.0.
Little aft flap that could.
Block 2.
The attitude is still weird to me, but okay.
It's literally the Block 2 F flap that could.
But yeah,
I
we
love
can see
seeing
now the
them
speed.
actuate.
It's gone down about 10,000 kilometers per hour, more or less.
That aft flap is cooked. Look at the end on the right side.
Yeah.
It is
No
glowing
way.
orange. It is very, very... That looks like someone's left the toaster on for too long. That's how bad that aft flap looks. Look at that go, though. But for the time being, it's discolored, but it is holding.
Yeah,
And
that
as
aft flap might be cooked, but the ship is still cooking.
Yep.
Hey.
And as we were mentioning before, that heating, they went already through peak heating. It's sort of like a stove. You go through the peak of the stove, but it's still going. You're just going down on the heating, right? So it's still soaking up that temperature. It's worth remembering that, you know, when Flight 4 we saw that little flap that could, it actually broke off after peak heating, right? Because it kept getting that heat. There we go. And then we're gonna get peak atmospheric force from re-entry. So that'll also be a proof of fire. No, I guess of wind.
This is a bit red, a bit
another bit of
glowy.
Awesome. So awesome.
G-forces.
Whatever
by the way.
happens from here on out, I would personally classify this as a huge success and huge amount of redemption for the program. Hopefully things continue to go well and they can soft splash down this thing, but oh my goodness, what a turnaround.
Look at that attitude.
They're almost through the very, very spicy part. Like they're not that far away. So
Yeah.
they
You see
might
the clouds
ship.
getting closer and closer. It's like when you're landing in an airplane, the clouds are getting closer and closer.
look at that
Exactly.
speed bleed off.
The speed is now
The ship
half.
is almost perpendicular with the Earth right now as it enters. I mean, we're approaching 12,000 kilometers. We're like losing 100 kilometers per hour per second of deceleration. The G meter, 2.3 Gs now.
2.3.
Ship seems to be, maybe it was just my imagination. I thought the ship was pitching
And-
up there, but it was just the clouds.
And this is what I explained I don't know how many streams ago, that the G-forces are the maximum.
Subsonic.
There we go.
That's G
Right, here we
low
go.
peak.
So this is what we've been talking
Exactly.
about. Where we
It actually
are
happens
going
after
to
the maximum of the plasma.
essentially
The
try
plasma is going
to
away.
fully
Look at that.
deploy those aft flaps and really stress them out. So again, this is meant to test the extremes for the vehicle.
Oh.
Ooh.
Awesome.
I'm standing by for a
Oh,
call.
they're testing
the
that
ship
flaps?
using its flaps.
All right.
Oh my
See those
god, it
flaps
works!
Chunks missing
swinging
from
out.
that aft flap.
Again, we're putting ship through the ringer on this flight in.
How do they have control?
Bonkers. Just
Absolutely crazy.
bonkers.
Yeah, this is absolutely
Still
crazy.
maintaining control.
It split off already 20,000 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
going
41
down to
kilometers in
booster speeds.
altitude. 7,000. Oh, 1.5 Gs. Oh my goodness. Get to the water.
Enroll in Verve College this fall or winter to further your education and career as
Yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Holy cow, that's beautiful.
We are now
Before it's going down quickly.
Yeah, we are approaching 38 kilometers in altitude, approaching 5,000 kilometers per hour, and quickly decelerating.
Look at the sides of the
1.5
vehicle.
Gs.
Oh yeah, it's like you can see the burn marks.
Of the ablative
Right.
material, yeah.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, at this point, come on, soft splashdown. Like, let's go.
I
Come
mean,
on,
they're
soft
through-
splashdown.
like-
You can do it, Ship. You can do it.
They're through re-entry. Like at this point,
Yeah.
the plasma is gone.
Right. They made it through
Prepare
reentry.
for
100%.
it turning horizontal, because it's gonna turn horizontal very soon. Already under 4,000 kilometers per hour.
Deep
So it's going to
breaths,
enter into that
everybody.
belly flop mode. Oh my goodness.
Look at the attitude. Look at how it's starting to pitch. You can really see how it's starting slowly to bleed off its horizontal speed, and it's starting to pitch over.
Like a big skydiver, but except of jumping from a plane, it's jumped from Boca Chica, Texas, and is now on the other side of the Earth. An hour ago, it feels like 5 minutes ago, we were leaving the orbital launch mount. Right now, Ship 37 approaching the Indian Ocean, 30 kilometers away. We should be approaching Mach 2 very shortly, and then we'll be going through that
And
sonic regime.
is that the
I don't
moon?
know if I'm...
Yeah, I mean that's either the moon or Death
Or,
Star.
or is a lens flare? I think it's a lens flare. I got too excited.
The moon last night was a sliver, so it's possible. I'm not sure. Either way,
Look at that.
oh my
It's-
gosh.
Wow.
It's going
my
to
gosh.
belly flop. Look at the
I don't know if I'm
camera
ready for
quality.
this.
about to go transonic.
It looks like we're getting those shakes, which we've seen many times before. The ship is starting to shudder as it approaches its belly flop, nearly 1,000 kilometers per hour. Barely 10 minutes ago, this was going 20,000 kilometers an hour. This deceleration is crazy to 24 kilometers in altitude.
I'm really interested on that landing burn with that
Oh,
little event that
Man.
happened in the skirt.
Exactly. Fingers
Under the
crossed
speed of
those Raptors
sound.
relight.
Belly
Look at
flop
that.
coming up. Look at that.
They're almost at. Look at that speed, so slow at this point.
It is pretty much horizontal at this point. This is incredible. Under 1,000 kilometers per hour. Pretty much only vertical velocity right now for Ship 37. The first Block
Subsonic.
2 Starship to make it to this point of flight.
We are
And
now airplane altitude.
SpaceX is
Wow.
basically waiting right now to control a bit with the flaps the speed, because you don't want to like go too crazy too early with the braking here in the aerodynamics regime. So they slowly increase the drag.
Are
Is
there
that
bits
parts coming
falling
off the aft flap?
Yeah, I was
Those
just thinking
test
the same
tiles.
thing. It looks like something is shred off the back, rather.
And a little bit of a nose down orientation for a second there. Awesome. Give me some cross range, baby.
I think I see some early signs of the engines preparing, because you can see some venting there.
The tiles that they had in the leeward of the flap flew off.
Nice.
Yeah, we can see.
I mean-
we can see a little bit of shed tip there. It's just shedding its skin. It's getting ready for the landing burn. Don't worry, guys.
And reminder
We're coming
that
up on that
roadblock
flip and
2
burn.
has arrived at this point.
Come on, flip and burn. You can do it. You can do it, 37.
Look at the aerodynamic control.
60 seconds away from that landing burn, approaching 5 kilometers in altitude, under 500 kilometers an hour. Starship fully horizontal as it now skydives towards the Indian Ocean. We're now going to be passing that cloud layer. Oh my goodness,
Oh
the
my
cloud.
goodness.
Maybe the clouds are fogging up the cameras at this point. Oh my goodness,
It's
this is
so
beautiful.
slow.
So graceful.
Wow.
I mean,
It doesn't look like it
Amazing.
should be able to be that slow.
Yes, keep an eye on that bottom right, that ship engine telemetry. It'll tell us when those center ignite.
Looks like it's at terminal velocity.
Through the
Wow,
clouds?
look at that.
Through the clouds.
it's approaching
1.5
speeds of like
kilometers.
Formula One racing cars.
Oh! Oh, come on.
Here we go.
Starship landing burn startup.
There's the call out.
Seeing 3
No
engines.
way.
There's the engines.
Wow.
Come on.
There's our flip.
Come on.
It's the ocean!
Yes!
Oh my goodness.
Look at that.
Yes!
Touchdown. Touchdown to Starship 37.
On target.
Whoa! Oh my goodness! That is what we wanted to see. Ship 37 on target in the Indian Ocean.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, man. Thank you, buoy cam. Landing flip, landing burn, splash out of the Indian Ocean. There we go. All right.
Let's go.
Third
They did
time
it. They
is
did it.
indeed the charm.
Full redemption.
Let's see if we get a reaction from Das. Okay, we're not getting a
buoy.
reaction from Das. Oh, there he
Oh,
is.
we need audio? No, I'm sending you audio. It's on the other side of the planet, and respect for the buoy cam, by the way. I like the buoy cam. I'm a fan of buoy cam. Like, I like cameras. I like remote video feeds. Good job, buoy cam. Bring